Hi, Cole here. I think I'm approaching Carrollton now. I was in Louisville. That fire station back there said it was Louisville. The sign on it. Look, there's a... And the thing is about this RV is if you didn't see it, he's got a boat on the back of it. So there's not a lot of rivers around this area, but he must have been traveling quite a bit of distance. Seeing that more and more, people, traveling quite a bit now. And they even have a bunch of YouTube shows about people, older people especially, that are traveling and doing different things. If you've seen in my earlier posts, this is a very famous leasing area right here. I don't really know what it is, but they have like a sign out to lease it. Now leasing Crown Center. So if you're looking to lease anything right here, it has a little crown on it and everything. Yeah, the city limit says Carrollton right here, so I'm going into Carrollton. So I'm kind of like, doing a little experiment right now, which I think is interesting, between some of my edited vlogs and my unedited vlogs, about, kind of like ritualistic patterns. If you notice, a lot of the times I'll get the same thing every day, like my Arizona tea, sometimes different flavors. This one actually is just an energy one. It has some vitamin E in it and things like that. So I'll get that for a while. And just to kind of see, this particular pattern that you can follow along and see older photo, well, not really photos, more like videography of places that I've been in this area, because I think it's interesting. I did this in 2012 in White Settlement, Texas for quite a bit of time. Actually, it was more closer to 2011. It was 2011, 2012. So I've been in this this one place in Louisville that's basically like, there are some apartments, some houses area, It's mostly kind of a neighborhood of those things. I'm about to hit a bump right here. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing now. And the place I'm at now sends a lot of emails because they bring in a lot of food trucks that will stop. And sometimes they cook the food along the side of the road here, and you can kind of smell it. It's like barbecue, things like that. And they bring in like exotic foods like Greek food and things just to get, I don't know, I guess people that want to sell at apartment complexes, or people that want to sell food at apartment complexes and things like that. But I've been here for, I don't know, I guess I'm going on my second year. And anyway, about another vlog I did is I've been looking at popular vlogs, and of course Nirvana is always popular, so I did something on Nirvana, and then JFK. A lot of people are obsessed with the John F. Kennedy assassination. So I thought about taking my time with that one and maybe doing a few vlogs, maybe some informational vlogs. Whether going on a location is absolutely necessary. First, you got to kind of figure out if it's conspiracy or if it's not, because I think it's a funny kind of way of looking at it, really. My neighbor's over here leaving. One garage door opening exactly at the same time as the other garage door opening. Or actually, one garage door is closing and the other one's opening. It's a really interesting little sight. Looks like a balancing act, actually. But anyway, so about the JFK assassination, the whole thing behind it is whether or not it's a conspiracy. Well, I can promise you this. Someone out there did conspire to assassinate JFK. So that did happen. Whether it was Lee Harvey Oswald or he had help from somebody, I don't know. What's interesting is right after the assassination, an officer stopped him in a break room and drew his gun on him in the break room. But one of his supervisors or managers was actually there with Lee Harvey Oswald and said, no, he works here, because the manager didn't know. And the officer said, I'm sorry, whatever, the officer was like, basically, I guess he's, guess that's not the, so one officer almost got him right there at the book depository building, if that was him that did it, and let him go because, well, he worked there. It was good cover. So, yeah, I mean, he probably did do it because of the gun, fingerprints, and things like that. But the conspiracy theory works very, very well. It works very well in this time in history and what was going on with Cuba and communism. And people were on a different type of intelligence level, you know. So it was easy to say, oh, just one person did it. It's a possibility. I'm still torn right down the middle. I've heard some conspiracy theories. They're really long, complex. They're involved with like the CIA, Central Intelligence, CIA, and then Cuba, and then the Mafia, and it kind of goes back and forth between, you know. So that one is kind of complex to talk about. It's easier just to say one person did it, end of story. You know, it was Lee Harvey Oswald. There's no argument. And then there's other people that have all these other stories. Now, there is an eyewitness. Her name is the Babushka lady. I don't know if she's still around. The last time I heard, I think she is. Anyway, the Babushka lady was wearing some weird scarf over her head. And she swears that she heard the gunshot come from the grassy knoll. You know. And what's interesting is an exit wound is always bigger than an entry wound. So if you look at the exit wound on the Zapruder film, the most famous home video ever made that was done in Dallas. I think it's Zapruder. I have to look up the pronunciation on that one. But if you look at that, the exit wound is actually larger, or what appears to be an exit wound is the back part of his head, which is interesting. Because if you know anything about high-power rifles, it makes a really tiny little hole and then a big hole in the back. If that's not proof enough, it's probably that alone. But then again, you know, they have all these crazy theories about how bullets can ricochet and stuff like that. But if you look at the film, you'll see what appears to be an exit wound go off the back of his head when he goes back into the left. And that should pretty much support the Babushka lady saying it came from the grassy knoll. There's also a photo, and I've seen it on YouTube, which is interesting. So the photo shows a man standing at the grassy knoll in this position, just like that. So it looks like he's holding some type of weapon, maybe a gun or something, but actually the argument was the man was a parking attendant. It was a parking attendant on the other side of the grassy knoll that was stopped by a CIA officer. He had snuck his way through the fence to take a photo of JFK, and he was holding what appears to be a film camera, like a 12 millimeter film camera thing, supposedly. And there's a photo of that. It's actually documented. You can see it. It looks very strange. But he's out in the open, so it'd be really stupid for a sniper to stand out in the open like that. Unless he had some kind of device like a cane or something that would conceal an actual sniper rifle or whatever. But I saw that footage and I thought, that's interesting too. And of course, the Oliver Stone JFK film is a pretty good one too, for conspiracy theory. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna stay in the middle on the fence on that one, to show what evidence Lee Harvey Oswald actually did it, because they have a plaque there in Dallas at Dealey Plaza saying that he actually did do it, and it's actually written, Lee Harvey Oswald fired a shot. They've got a museum dedicated to Lee Harvey Oswald, so they have established it that is, it's a closed case. So maybe, maybe, but what's scientific proof? I think probably in the future, if it comes down to it, it'll probably be a DNA thing. Either they'll have DNA of Lee Harvey Oswald that they can put at the site once then that probably maybe would be a closed case. But DNA is not always, you know, permissible in court or whatever, you know. But that probably would close the case on it if it hasn't already been closed. But according to Dallas and the plaques and the museums, Lee Harvey Oswald was the one that did it. But it is an interesting, the Zapruder film, or Zapruder film, is an interesting thing to look at because it doesn't look like the shot is coming from behind. Another signifier, too, is that JFK holds his hands up to his neck. So he's actually going like this from the front and not the back. Okay, so he's holding from the front and not the back. So if it came from here, his first instinct is to grab here rather than to go back here. So that's a possibility too. And also, if you look at it too, because I've been studying it, JFK, try to get this right here, actually goes like this and leans to the side, to this direction over here, as if he's losing his balance from over here. You think about it, if you're shot from this area, and you know, that's another thing, you know, does the body tell the clues here? He doesn't go like this. And also there's the explosion here, which if it was coming from this direction, I don't know. But those are some thoughts on it. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to say JFK was assassinated by Lee Harvey Oswald 100% sure, or was it a conspiracy? I don't know. I mean, if anybody has scientific proof, you know, and even that doesn't really cover everything. But anyway, I thought that would be an interesting one. Probably the direction I'm going to go, and then hold off a little bit later on with the bomb factory stuff, you know, that music venue. I may wait on that one for a while because the bomb factory goes back to like 1910. It's got a long history, way before it became a music venue in Dallas, and that's not as big of a deal. So I'll probably lean to do some type of maybe JFK vlog, kind of just showing the facts of it, probably, about, you know, what happened. So then that could be laid down, kind of put into print, so then when another one comes about, I can go back and compare the vlogs, and maybe that can be an ongoing thing. All right? Well, if you don't know about the channel, please subscribe. I've been doing this probably for almost 10 years, off and on, everywhere from here to Maine and back. So I lived in Maine for a while and have some footage of Maine. I have way more footage of Maine that I haven't really, I haven't put all of that one on my YouTube page. Not all my footage is on my YouTube page. But, you know, a little bit about me. I've been in performance since I was a kid. I'm using kind of YouTube as kind of a way to, I guess, express myself in that form of thing. You know, I used to be a stage performer. I lived in Long Beach, California for a while, and I used to drive out to Hollywood. I lived in New York, off Broadway for a while too, and I've been in Texas the longest. So, but anyway, please subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notifying bell so you're notified when the next vlog comes through. And I don't know if you can see the flags right over here. See them right here? It's a Texas flag. Okay, well, the vlog is over for now, and y'all have a wonderful day.